Hey Geek, so if you spend any time watching my channel, you know that I am a huge lover of retro games or arcade games, console games, basically games that I grew up with. And I've been playing video games since the very beginning. I had an Atari back in the day, I even had a Commodore 128, and well, I've been in love with video games ever since then. But obviously, over the many years, a lot of things have changed, and so most people nowadays play their games digitally. Even if they get a quote-unquote physical copy, there's still an online component to it in one way or another. With a lot of games not being complete, you have to download patches and so forth. Anyway, things have changed so much, and that made me think about something that honestly I didn't really think about too much, and that is this whole idea of having the original hardware and games physically versus emulation. Which one is the best experience? And honestly, whenever I thought about this, I was like, of course, having the original physical machine and physical games is absolutely the best experience. And well, I think that's what a lot of people who are into this will say. And honestly, I agree with them like 99% most of the time. But as I started thinking about this more and more, I was like, man, you know what? Do I really play a lot of these older systems, that I love as a kid and still love to this day as much as I do emulation, And that is something that I did not want to admit to myself because honestly, when it comes to emulation, you have so many different ways you can do this. This is an NVIDIA Shield. And I think for a lot of people, even people like myself who loves this stuff, you kind of have to think about where do you play this the most? And for me, I'm typically not playing these games with the console and the actual games. Most of the times, I'm playing it through emulation, whether it's through this NVIDIA Shield on my computer or with my Legends Ultimate Arcade. That's where I play most of the time because of the simple fact that, number one, it is convenient. I think it's a lot easier to do that than having to make sure that you have the proper cables, adapters, and obviously these are physical things, so they could break down, or they could have scratches, and whatever the case might be, there could always be issues, and you still might need an adapter to plug it into, a high-def TV if you don't already have a CRT. And so with that, that's the first thing. It is way more convenient and easier for me to play it through emulation. And then the second most obvious thing is if you are playing your games through emulation, that you have practically thousands of games at your disposal. And that's something that honestly physical games can't match because I don't think anybody out there has all these different emulated games, thousands upon thousands around the world. I don't know of anybody who has that many, even the ones who have the largest collection of games. That is another actually super huge thing. It's probably the biggest thing out of everything. It's just the sheer library of games that you can play, and at the same time combine that with the convenience. It's simply unbeatable. And whenever I came to that conclusion, it kind of made me sad because it made me think like, oh man, does that mean these aren't as special anymore? Well, I would say it's still very special. This is something that's priceless to me and many others, but it also shows that there's other things that are very special about where we're at in gaming today, specifically with emulation. And for me, I think it is a wonderful place for people to see the history of gaming, play it, and at the same time have a lot of choices when it comes to gaming all around the world, experiencing games that you've probably never or will ever experience again because most of these games physically don't exist anymore. And so that's just my simple thoughts on it. I was just like playing games today and I was thinking, man, like, wait, what am I playing this on? Why am I not playing it on my physical consoles and games? And then I thought about it, so I decided to go ahead and make this video. And I think a lot of people like myself, they're probably just playing the games that they love, and at a certain point you don't think about how you're playing it, meaning like how you're getting these games, whether it's physical or digital. You just know that you're playing the games that you remember and love. And so that's kind of where I want to leave it at. If you actually had any thoughts on this, be sure to leave in the comments here below, and I'll see you on another episode. Hey geeks, if you are a brand new creator and you simply want something easy to get you started, well, I got something for you with my Creator Starter Kit. This is a super simple step-by-step guide that's going to take you from having no channel to developing your very first YouTube channel, along with ideas, thumbnail designs, and other creator tips, including marketing. And the best part is, all of this is free. Simply head over to the link below, check out my page, and get started creating.